Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. I am so excited to have our friend here, Liesel Darby, joining us, our certified divorce coach from Crown Coaching, better known as my divorce diva. She's all the above. Hey, Liesel, how are you?
I'm excellent. How are you doing, Jill?
I'm doing great. Sad to hear. You just told me this is our last show, but we're not saying goodbye officially. But
No?
I've had such a great few months working with you. I got to thank you for that, really.
Oh, me too. This has been a great experience.
Oh my
It
goodness.
truly has been. Thank you for that.
Well, thank you. For those that don't know you, they're going to get to know you today. Fill us in a little.
Okay, so I'm a certified divorce coach. I'm certified in alternative dispute resolution, which is a process that is sanctioned by the American, what do they call it? The American Legal Association, I believe. Anyway, I'm here to help people get through the conflict that comes with divorce. I teach how to manage that and how to engage in conflict effectively and productively so that you don't get stuck.
Got it. Well, thank you so much. And what's on topic for today?
Today we're talking about you deserve more than a sandwich over the sink.
What does that even mean? I don't get it. Wait, say it one more time.
You deserve more than a sandwich over the sink.
I don't get it. I still don't get it.
Good. I'm going to tell you. This comes from when I was going through my divorce, I noticed after a couple of months that the only meal I was eating was a sandwich eaten over my kitchen sink. Like that's all I was doing. I was never sitting down at a table. I was not cooking for myself. I I was barely eating anything. And it dawned on me probably about 3 months in that, you know what? I deserve to actually sit down at my table with a plate, with a fork, maybe a knife, and have like a decent meal. Not just half of a tuna fish sandwich, eaten just in 3 seconds over the sink. And it just got me to thinking about how when we're going through divorce, there's a couple things going into place. Part of it is I just didn't feel like I had the energy to do that. I wasn't, I'm suddenly single, so I just didn't feel like cooking anything. And I wasn't a good cook anyway, but the things that I did make, it was like for two, I was never just cooking for myself. And it just seemed like such a big thing. I didn't have the energy for it. But part of it too is when we're going through a divorce, our emotional well-being, our self-esteem can just take a beat down. It can just take just a total beat down where you're just like on all fours on the floor. You're trying to get up before the final bell rings, and just that's what it felt like. And I was thinking, well, so many of us feel like that. Let's talk about how to counteract that so that you don't spend months just eating a quick sandwich over the sink as you're going through this process. So, and I started thinking, you might ask, like, well, why is this important, right? And I started to think, well, usually at this point in the game, you can just be so overwhelmed by just, the whole idea of it. If this wasn't your idea to get divorced, you can just be like completely thrown under the bus with this. You're just trying to keep your head, above water, so to speak. There's all these documents, legal things that you have to find, and there's appointments coming up, and there's just so much stress. You don't even know what's going on. So self-care that's at that's at the bottom of the pile if it's even on your radar at all. You're just in survival mode and just trying to make it through the day without crumpling into a heap. I remember my husband had arranged for a realtor to come to our house not even a week after he told me. I think he told me on a Thursday and the realtor was coming on Sunday. I was still trying to process this whole thing. And I just remember this poor woman, she's trying to, look around her house, and I just backed up against a wall and I just my back just slid down the wall. Next thing I know, I'm on the floor just crying. This poor woman, she had to, get me up off the floor, and she was so kind and compassionate, which made it even worse. I just started crying even more. Um,
So
but
sorry.
but it was too much. It was just too much. I was not in a place to be having those kinds of conversations with people. Um, I remember I went to the bank. I had to go to the bank the next day, like on Friday. I had to go to the bank and open up a checking account in my own name, right? And I went there at 9 o'clock, and this poor guy too. I felt sorry for anybody who had to interact with me at this point. He he was just a nice young man, and he says, "Hi, can I help you?" And I just burst into tears. And I'm just thinking, "Oh my God, I cannot be out in public right now. I can't be in public in case anybody says anything nice to me. I can't handle it." Um, Luckily that resolved in about 2 weeks, but honestly, I was afraid to go out. I was afraid to go to the store. I was afraid to do anything in case somebody had to interact with me. I was going to have my meltdowns. But anyway, so I was just thinking self-care is just so, so important at this point. And I just want to put it on people's radar that if you're not doing it, you really need to start doing that.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you poor thing. I'm trying to, and now how many years ago was this when you were going through
This
your
is 10
divorce?
years ago. This was
Okay.
a full 10 years ago. I'm fully fine now.
I
Trust me.
know, but that's what I want to point out. Looking back now, that's how a lot of people are and go through, and that's normal and that's okay. You've been there, you've experienced it. And now looking back, looking at yourself, what would you say to yourself 10 years ago?
I would have given myself a hug and just said, it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. You're going to get through this just fine. You just need to take it step by step and let yourself feel the feelings, and you're going to come out on the other side of this just in such a much stronger place. But you're okay. You can feel your feelings right now, and you can be in a puddle on the floor if that's where you need to be, but just know it's going to be okay. That's what I would have told myself.
Aw. Well, thank you for that. And it's so true. In those days of eating that sandwich over the kitchen sink. I'm a single mom of two kids, and I don't ever sit and eat. I make them sit and eat, but I should, and I don't. I'm that person eating over the kitchen sink myself. I didn't understand. I don't eat sandwiches though, so I'm eating like pasta from the strainer out of the sink. But
Oh, well,
still,
that's a step up. You cooked something. You turned
I,
on the oven.
I did. I did. Guilty.
I was
Uh-huh.
not turned. My oven did not get turned on for months. It was okay. So here's some things that I would suggest that people do. And
Got
some
it.
of these are psychological, and some of these are actual like physical things to do. So one of the things, and you might laugh at this, but if you're a woman, go put on some lipstick. Just do yourself a favor. And I don't even care if you're going out of the house. Just go wash your face, brush your teeth, brush your hair, maybe put it in a ponytail, do something, and then just put on some lipstick. Just
Mm-hmm.
because that little bit will send a subliminal message to your psyche that I'm still pretty, I'm still worthy of, taking care of myself. Just do yourself a favor, and put on some lipstick.
Yes.
Like I said, even if you're not going out of the house, it will make you feel better. For
Mm-hmm.
me, I also have to put on mascara because my blonde lashes just disappear. I need
Oh,
something.
I'm jealous. I wish I had blonde hair. See, and I guess when you have it, it's like right, everything's grass is always greener. Never
Yeah,
thought about that. Then I'd have blonde eyelashes, and then
yeah,
I'd have to put mascara on. So I mean,
yeah.
damned if you do, damned
It's
if
a
you don't.
thing.
All right, all right. I didn't think about that. Do people dye their eyelashes?
Yeah,
Can you?
I have heard of this. I've heard of it, and I've also heard that there's some you can damage, like you got to be really, really careful not to
Oh.
get it. I mean, people I think have damaged their eyes doing this, but I do know that some people do it, or they get like the eyeliner tattooed on, or they do all kinds of things. I'm not that girl. I will just just give me some Maybelline, and I'm good to
Oh, well,
go.
I use Maybelline. I love Maybelline and
I do
L'Oreal.
too.
Me too. Thank you.
Mhm.
I just bought L'Oreal because I got a coupon from CVS. You know, when those big things come out, and if you
Yeah.
spend $10 on L'Oreal products, you get $5 back in bucks, whatever. So I got the Black Noir. What is it? It's L'Oreal, but it's good mascara. I
Yeah,
don't.
it's good stuff. Yeah,
The
I think I've used it.
voluminous, the voluptuous, the lumi. Yes, that's
Voluminous.
the word I'm looking for. I got picture in my head. Yes.
Yeah, yes, I believe I've used theirs as well. Yeah, yeah, you don't have to spend a lot of money to get anything permanent done. Just put some mascara and some lipstick on, you'll be fine. The other thing I made myself do, put on some pants that don't have elastic in the waist. No,
I
get out of the
hate.
sweatpants, get out of the
Hmm.
sweatshirt, put some jeans on, put on something that you actually has some structure to it. Um, and do yourself a favor. Again, it's just a message to yourself like I'm worth getting out of the fetal position on the couch in my jammies, or my sweats. It'll just make you feel better psychologically.
And
Just
making
get
me
ready for
think.
your day.
I still wear maternity pants. I love the leggings that fit well, but they're not loose on the stomach. You fold them down, but it's my trick. So it's like sweatpants because they're
Uh,
cozy, but then if you don't put them all the way up, you roll them down and it's not too tight, but it's still gonna look elegant. You could still wear a nice shirt with the maternity
uh-huh.
pants, but I hate elastic on my stomach.
Yeah.
Hate it, hate it. Go ahead. What other advice?
Um,
Sorry.
so then I like what I had to start doing was I had to start making myself do one meal for me that involved a plate. Yeah, I did nothing elaborate. I wasn't that person anyway. But just something like spaghetti, right? Or mac and cheese, or open a can of soup and heat it up on the stove, something that required some kind of a utensil in my hand and sitting down at the table. That was my only requirements, but that made a world of difference. It kind of brought me back into the world of the living, quote unquote, because for a while I wasn't feeling like I was part of that. Um, so that's just another thing. Another thing I want you to do is actually plan intentionally into your day one thing that you will look forward to and will make you happy.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to take a bath without no one bothering me, but I don't know if I could do that. But I try all the time. What
And
about
and
you?
if you
What were the things back then compared to now?
Oh
What
my
did,
gosh. So that house had one of those nice deep tubs. It didn't have jacuzzi in it, but it was, oh no, I take that back. It did. But it was just a nice deep tub. And I did take bubble. It seemed like every night I was in a bubble bath with a glass of wine and my CD player and and some candles going. And I had cats who wanted to come in and walk along the edge of the tub and make me real nervous. But it was something about being around water and being in water that was very healing for me. And I needed that so badly that, yeah, I took a lot of bubble baths and I needed that. I also walked a lot, just because that was like my therapy time for me. I think I talked about this before. I made myself think of the three good things about my ex and send him a little heart blip. That's what I did on my walks.
oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, because you can't be in a space of be thinking something
Being
nice
a negative.
and being hateful, hateful
Yeah,
and
the hate and
revenge.
negative will get to you,
Yeah,
your core. Yeah.
you you
Hmm.
you can't be in both of that headspace at the same time. So I made myself do that, and just the walking, just being outside. Um, I wasn't doing anything fancy. But I did walk. I did wear holes in two pairs of Skechers. I was walking anywhere between 3 miles and 12 miles a day, depending on my stress level. I only did the 12 miles a couple times, and that was not at once. It was like four times around my neighborhood. I knew one lap was 3 miles. So there was just a couple days I did 12 miles, and I was very tired at the end of those 12 miles. But walking also, it helped me to sleep better, just getting some kind of exercise. And also during this time, I started doing some yoga stretching. I had a CD. It was like a 40-minute yoga stretch. So there were like, I think we did like 4 or 5 maybe yoga poses, like warrior one, warrior two, triangle, that kind of stuff. But then there was just some more stretching, which just forced me to be mindful during that time, and it focuses on your breathing, which is so important. And just again, just it was just physically good for me, and it wasn't stressful. I wasn't out trying to run marathons or climb mountains or anything like that. I was doing gentle things, but I needed that. I just so needed that. Yeah, but plan something. Maybe it's you're gonna walk or take yourself to get an ice cream, at the end of the day, or you're gonna treat yourself to, your favorite Netflix show. Just something that gives you something to look forward to during that day that you're gonna really appreciate. And it can be something small, but it might be something bigger. It might be, you know what? I've lost so much weight because of all the walking and the non-eating I've been doing that I need to go buy some new pants. I need to go buy
Yeah.
some new clothes if I'm going to be out in public, because what I had before it just doesn't fit anymore. But just be nice to yourself, treat yourself well. And again, it can be through little things. Other thing I want you to do is I want you to daydream. I want you to get out of your head about the thick of the ick that you're in right now,
I love the
and
thick of the air.
think think beyond that, to what do you want life to look like when you're done? Like, do you have some new really great girlfriends? Because a lot of times our friends disappear. You find out who your real friends are real fast. But maybe you maybe want to make some new friends. Maybe you want to, now's a chance you can take up some kind of a hobby that you've always wanted to do and just never did. Maybe horseback riding. Maybe you want to start writing a novel. Maybe you want to start gardening. Anything. Just let yourself go there to all these things that you've been putting on the back burner, or maybe it's something new that you just saw. Pickleball. I would still like to try pickleball. I don't know if my knees will let me do that, but it sounds fun. Um, I've started actually cooking now. So I'm keeping a list of all the new dishes that I've made, just to, it's something new for me. But let yourself do some daydreaming, and let yourself think about how good it's going to be in a fun life and a full, rich life. And then, but the last thing I wanted to talk about was, as you're going, there are things that you deserve to have going on when you're going through a divorce, and how I can help you. How can a divorce coach help you get these things? So one of the things you deserve is you deserve to be treated with respect by your spouse when you're going through this process. Not allowed to harass you, not allowed to call you names, not allowed to try to intimidate you.
Yep.
You totally deserve to be treated with respect, and kindness, and at least civil, at least civility. Another thing you deserve is for this to be transparent. Um, and this is mainly due to financial things. So you deserve to see what all the financial documents are. Those should be shared with you as you're going through this process. So you should not be in the dark as to what's in the 401ks, what's in the checking and the savings accounts, what's the business doing, anything that has to do with financial. You certainly deserve and are entitled to have some transparency around that, to see what those numbers are. You deserve to have your voice heard, right? So that means both with your lawyer. You want to have an attorney that will listen to you and not just, ramrod things right over you, because that's the way they've always done it. You deserve to have a say in what's going on. And if you're doing mediation, you definitely have, your voice is at the table too, so don't sign anything that you don't agree to. You can always, anything you don't get done in mediation, you can take that to a judge and have a judge make a decision on that, but you don't have to, if your spouse is really pushing for something that you don't agree to, then don't sign off on that. Your voice matters, and you have just as much say in what's going to happen in your future as the other person does. And then last thing is you deserve to be making decisions for yourself and your kids. You don't have to let somebody else be doing that. And again, that's why I think mediation is, if you can pull off mediation at all, go that route, because otherwise a judge is going to be making decisions for you. So as much as possible, make sure you're the one that are making the decisions for you as you go forward into a new life. And that's your right. That you deserve it, but like I said, so many of us were beaten down and just kind of like, what's going on? not knowing what our rights were, what to expect. I'm telling you, you do deserve to have dignity and respect in your own voice as you go through this process.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much. And we are continuing here. If you are just tuning in with our dear friend, our divorce coach, she's our diva, actually. And by the way, Liesel, Darby, for those that don't know, where are you based out of?
I am in the Cleveland area. I'm in North Royalton.
Okay,
Um, and you can find me at Crown Coaching. It's at mydivorcediva.com. My contact information is in there. So if you feel like I could be of service to you, just give me a call.
beautiful. I wasn't wrapping up the show yet, but thank you.
Oh,
We still have more time, but you're so sweet.
okay.
That's okay. Now I lost my train of thought. Especially this is our last show. We got a few more minutes, girls. So
Okay,
let's pump it out.
cool.
What else did you want to make sure we cover for today? And just, I mean, a kind of an overview about the past few weeks of learning so much about, why people should work with you. It makes so much sense.
Let's talk about mindset for
Mm-hmm.
just a few
Sure.
minutes. This kind of goes back to what I was just saying. You deserve to have, be treated a certain way. You deserve to know what's going on. Um, as you go through the mediation process or divorce process, if you're using attorneys, I want you to have the mindset that you're worth it.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know that we tell ourselves that enough. Just blatantly tell you you're worth it. If you can stand in front of the mirror every morning and just say, I am worth it, say it for 21 days at least. That's how long it takes for an affirmation to really sink into your subconscious. Even if you don't believe it right now, even if you don't believe it, say it. Say it out loud, say it with conviction, and watch the miracles happen because that shift will change everything for you. I want you to say that I deserve the good things in life. Again, even if right now you don't think so, say it. Say it for 21 days and say it with conviction. And you can also say, I deserve a good life. Because I deserve a good life. 21 days. And if you have to make little post-it notes or note cards or something and stick this on your bathroom windows or you put in the dash of your car, put it in your purse, put it on your computer at work, whatever you need to do to remind yourself of these things.
Yeah.
They really are powerful. It sounds kind of hokey, but I can't tell you how many times affirmations have made a really big difference, not just in my life, but I know plenty of women that will attest to the same thing. Just say something nice about yourself and watch the miracles happen.
Oh, thank you for that. I love hearing this. This is beautiful. And for someone who's been in the business so long and have gone through what you've gone through, advice out there to someone listening today, going through this, how did you want to leave off?
I just want everybody to know you don't have to do this alone, right? That's my biggest message. That's why I do what I do, is because I don't want anybody to ever feel like you have to go through this really stressful, trying process and part of your life. You don't have to do this by yourself. There's professionals out there who can help you. I am one of them. There's other coaches out there. There's therapists. There's family and friends. Family and friends can only go so far because you're going to have to talk about this so much that they're going to get sick of it, and they might not also give you the best advice. That's why I would always find a support group, find an individual coach like
Yeah.
me or someone else, and do yourself a favor and don't feel like you have to go this alone.
Beautiful. And if someone, wants to reach out, how do we do so, darling?
Okay, mydivorcediva.com. My phone number's there, my email's there. Just let me know what you need, and I'm here to help.
Beautiful. And since this is our last show, let me ask just any recent client experiences that you want to share. Because I know you're dealing with so many different women out there, and anything in particular that comes to mind that you want our listeners to leave off with a nice story or two.
Actually, yesterday I was talking to somebody, a woman who she's at the very beginning of this journey. And she's like most of us is totally overwhelmed, and she's trying to work with her. She's trying to pass on to her mom what I'm telling her
Mm-hmm.
about things, and she's actually, I think, going to refer her mom to me
Aw.
to get some support too, because she said her mom just really needs it, and that way they can both be getting the same kind of information on how to help the kids mostly, to not put them in the middle with this very controlling, soon-to-be ex of hers.
Uh-huh.
Because, her mom's instinct is to, we gather around the forces and you want to, make sure everybody's on the right side, the same side, and you don't want to put the kids in the middle. So I thought that was interesting that she wanted to refer her mom to me.
Beautiful. See, it's good for everyone. And I
Yeah.
know you're working with women only, but in the future or anytime if you're working with men,
Hey, I will work with anybody who needs the support.
perfect.
So up to this point, it's been mainly women. I have worked with some men too, actually. But I don't want to scare men off. But yeah, anybody who could use some support and some guidance and some help with, keeping the conflict manageable, just let me know.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Pleasure having you here, and we will connect
Likewise,
again in
Jill.
the future. Thank you so much.
All
You're
right.
awesome. I'll see you soon on social media. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you. All right.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.